So something I like to talk about with people is like what's going on in our world today that's like different than like what maybe happened, I don't know, 20 to, I don't know, back in the 1900s or whatever, late 1900s. And obviously there's been a lot of changes that have gone on in our society. And here's one thing that I feel like we for sure could change in our society, and that would be getting rid of Karens. Like, if there's one thing that cancel culture, which I do not approve of whatsoever, I hate cancel culture. Whoever made it, honestly, you should burn. But if there's one type of person I believe for sure should be canceled, it should be Karens. Now, what is a Karen exactly? A Karen is basically the type of person that it's pretty much a stereotypical like I want to speak to your manager about the most like petty stuff ever, like, or it's a person that like takes a very high offense the smallest pettiest things ever. An example could be like I actually heard of this and I've seen a video of this where like some kids are just skateboarding down the street or whatever, and a Karen like gives them a hard time because they're skateboarding on the street and she thinks they shouldn't be there. It's the stupidest stuff ever, honestly. And honestly, people who are Karens are just idiots. And and real quick, just because they're called Karens doesn't mean they're all females. There's quite a few male Karens as well, but I think we call them like I don't know. I don't have a name particularly for them. Maybe I'd call them a Kyle or like a Chad or something like that. I don't know, um, but yeah, no, they suck for real, to say the least. And I've actually experienced Karens a couple times at different jobs I've had. One of them, the most recent one actually happened with my current job, which I'm not gonna say what my current job is, but so basically, what I have to do is I basically have to watch. Well, I'm not going to go, like I said, I'm not going into specifics, but I will say some of what I do is I'm not a security guard, but I monitor like events and make sure that everything's going on the way they should, and make sure that everyone's behaving themselves, so that there's nothing going on in these events that shouldn't be going on. And so during these events, it actually takes place around like a field, and only certain people during the events can be allowed on the field, and all spectators must be on the bleachers, must be on bleachers, and or not even bleachers, but just like sitting off the field for the most part. And it doesn't sound like a big doesn't sound like a big deal. Or like really, to any logical human being, it doesn't sound like a big deal. If it's the basic concept is if you're playing or doing whatever you're supposed to be doing on the field, do that. If you're not, then don't be on the field. Easy. So yeah, I'm monitoring and making sure all this is like everything's going okay because I'm being paid to do this. Like I'm not doing this just for the fun of it. And usually everything at this job is pretty chill, but today this one lady, like I was actually with my coworker when this was happening, and we were just talking, we were just watching to make sure everything's done. Pretty good day, honestly. Nice nighttime breeze going on as well. And this one lady walks up to my coworker, and she's already you can already tell like she has that walk where she's just like walking really quickly. She doesn't look particularly happy, and I can already tell like this lady has like a problem with something, or we might have to help her with something, and it's honestly not that big of a deal. But so she walks up to my coworker and she's like, "Hi, do you work here?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can. How can I help you?" And she's like, "Okay, so those people on the field are on the field. However, my daughter has played and has participated in past events on this field, and we are told that we are not allowed on there unless we are using the field." And my coworker is pretty much like, "Yeah, unless you're on the field, you can't be on the field at the moment. Like if you're part of the team, you can, but if you're a spectator, you unfortunately cannot." And she's all angry because this is during the time when like the events like this particular event is almost over, and there's a new event that's about to happen, and there's another team that's scheduled to use like the field, like I'd say in like the time span of 5 minutes. So they're paying to use it, and since they're paying to use it, me and my coworker, we genuinely, or sorry, generally, I don't know why I'm saying genuinely, but we usually let the other team like go on like the side of the field that isn't being used, like little area, not that big of an area, while the team's like gathering up, preparing for when it's their turn and all that. It's really not a big deal, but um, and also my ass is being whooped in COD, but whatever. But yeah, no, it's not a big deal whatsoever, and the Karen is getting all angry because she believes that because there's another team that's about to go on it, but they're not just yet, then anyone should be allowed to go on it until the event actually starts for that particular team. You know what I'm saying? So, God, my aim is just not good at God. I'm sorry. All right. Anyway, let me get back on topic. But yeah, she's all angry about that, and uh, yeah, she's all angry about that. And my coworker, just a little backstory, like he's an alright guy. He's not perfect. I've had my problems with him at times, but he's a little socially awkward as well. So I kind of I like watching out for him a little bit because if there's a social situation with someone aggressive like this person in particular, I don't want him to feel like he's being bullied or whatever. So she's kind of laying into him a little bit, and I decide to step in, and I'm like, listen, ma'am, they're about to go on in like 5 minutes, and we're just following what our boss told us to say. And our boss told us that unless you're paying for the field and about to use the field uh, when it's your turn, then you can't be on it. Like, I'm sorry. And she's pretty much using her Karen logic. She's like, well, they're not technically on the field yet, so why should they be allowed? And I'm like, listen, lady, they're not on it just yet, but in 5 minutes they're going to be on it. So it really does not matter. And last time I checked, you're not paying for it. And I'm pretty much telling her that, and she's not having it. And at some point, like after she's like done her like minor petty arguments, she just stares at me. And a little backstory on me as well. I have a little bit of a pet peeve. So in society today, a lot of people are sensitive, like I said at the beginning, like in the beginning of the video. But I can't talk. And something that's come out of that a little bit on me at least is I kind of have a pet peeve toward sensitive people. Not sensitive people per se, but like people that get sensitive about the stupidest crap ever. And I'm usually very good at like controlling myself with it, but I could tell if I didn't take over the situation, she was just gonna lay into my coworker, and I don't like people like her trying to like take advantage of someone who really can't like defend themselves too well against like someone as stupid as her. So I said something I probably shouldn't have said. I said, listen, lady, you can stare at me all day, but I'm not gonna change what I said to make you feel any better. And yeah, that probably wasn't the best thing to say, but I was kind of irritated with her, and I kind of want to show her that you're not the one in charge, I am, and yeah, and I'm trying to get my point across because I don't like Karens to say the least. And she pretty much at this point, she opens her mouth and is just like, I cannot believe how rude you're being to me. And I'm like, look, I'm not trying to be rude to you, but I'm trying to tell you what's going on, and you're not listening to me, and you're arguing with me. And I've had a few incidents where I've had a few incidents like throughout that particular time frame, like within the past like 2 months, I'd say beforehand, where there's been a lot of people that have wanted to use the field for like when there's events going on for like I don't know playing football or whatever when they couldn't, and they're usually good people, but there have been a few people that like have doubted whether I'm actually allowed to say what I've been saying, such as like they aren't allowed to use it, and they've asked for my supervisor's number. So I've given them my supervisor's number. I have no problem with that because I know that I'm not in the wrong. And with this Karen, she was basically going off on me a little bit, saying I'm rude and that I don't know what I'm talking about and all that. And I kind of had enough with that. I'm like, listen, lady, I'll give you my supervisor's number. You can call him and he can tell you what's up. That's pretty much what I was doing. And I'm honestly surprised that she did this next thing. She said no, she doesn't want it, and she's like, but I'll take your phone number. And I'm like, no, I'm not giving you my phone number. I'm not required to, nor do I feel like giving it to you. And nor do I cannot stress this enough, want to give it to you. Okay, lady? And she pretty much just says the same thing again. She's like, you're being so rude to me. And I'm like, alright, cool. I can't argue with stupid. Bye. I didn't say that, but I was kind of like hinting it. I'm like, alright, have fun. And meanwhile, like, while I'm doing that, there's like, I'm at this gate. There's like, to enter this field, you have to go through this gate. And the gate's open, but we were kind of standing right in front of it, which they could have walked around us, but I guess they just didn't want to get caught up in that, you know what I'm saying? And, uh, and yeah, after that, like, there was a whole bunch of people that were watching, and we let them all in, and I'm a little bit annoyed at this point. So I'm like, sorry guys, I just had to deal with a Karen. And it was kind of funny because there were actually people that were coming in for the event as well, and they saw what she was how she was acting, and she's like, they're like, yeah, dude, that woman is nuts. And I'm like, yeah, well, she's not the first nuts woman I'll have to deal with, and she probably won't be the last, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, that's my experience with Karens. I honestly, I can get being angry at stuff. Like, believe me, I get angry over petty stuff too. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but like, come on, man. Like, when you're, I don't know, if you're being nice to someone or just explaining what's up, you should just respect them for it. And if you don't like it, just go through the proper procedures. Like, don't do what she did, guys. But anyway, that was but yeah, my take on Karens, especially after that, is honestly just grow a pair. And if you don't like something, just do it don't complain, and or don't complain to the people that can't do anything or that you won't get anything from. Go just do something else that will have more of a result, you know what I mean? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little story time I had. This actually happened not that long ago as well. And if you enjoy, make sure to leave a like and all that. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Take care.